What's going on, guys? Pat Damiano here, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to do one of my favorite rowing variations, and that is the plank row. Now for this exercise, you're going to need something to elevate your hand off of the ground and something sturdy. So that could be a bench, a chair, a box, your couch, whatever it is, just make sure it's getting your hand up off of the ground a little bit and is pretty sturdy and is not going to topple over. Now this is a really good exercise because we are going to be getting a really strong rowing variation in for our lats and our arm, and at the same time really getting a ton of core activation. This is going to be very similar to a renegade row, but in a lot of scenarios people either don't have the two kettlebells of the same weight, or if your kettlebells are light and they're a little small, a renegade row can be a little sketchy and you run the risk of, quite frankly, your kettlebell falling over while you're trying to do this and then you eat floor and break your nose. And we don't want that. Now the setup for this exercise is very straightforward. You're gonna get your hand up against whatever it is that you've got. In this case, it's gonna be my bench. Now, the higher it is, the easier it's gonna be. The lower it is, the harder it's going to be. Now, if all you have is, let's say, a chair in your house, and obviously it's that only height that you've got, there are gonna be ways to make it a little bit more difficult or easier. So keep that in mind if you have something that is only one height and that's all you can do your plank rows on. So regardless, our setup is gonna be like this. Our hand is in the middle of our body, and then from there, we're going to widen our feet out a little bit. So creating a little bit of a triangle or a tripod with my body, my hand, and then my 2 feet. From there, I'm on my toes, and I'm going to just row this kettlebell up, bringing the handle or my hand to my hip, just like I would doing a regular single arm row. Pretty straightforward, okay? There's just a couple things to keep in mind. Now, what I don't want is butt up in the air like this. This isn't really doing much for me right now in terms of core activation. Our goal is to feel this a ton in our abs. If you are not, something is wrong. Most likely, your feet are your butt is up too high, or you are rotating your hips as you do this row. Our goal is to stay in this nice, solid plank position the entire time, and my body does not move one bit. Something I like to tell people is, imagine there's a glass of water on your hips. That glass of water should not move at all. We want to keep everything nice and solid. Now, if you are struggling to do that, all right, maybe your weight is too heavy, or whatever you have is a little too low and it's a little difficult for you. All you need to do is widen your feet out a little bit and you'll do your rows like that. If this is too easy, you can bring your feet a little bit closer and row like that. Or, of course, you can increase or decrease weight. But the wider your feet are, the more balance and the more of a base you're gonna have, and your core doesn't have to work as hard. And then vice versa, the closer we bring our feet together, the more our core is going to have to work to make sure we are not turning side to side. I don't care how wide you need to get your feet to make sure that your core and your torso is not moving, but we need to be a statue when we are doing this exercise, besides the arm that is rowing, obviously. And that's the gist of it when it comes to the plank row. So make sure you're in a nice solid position with your hand and feet being a triangle. Make sure your butt is down and you are squeezing your abs as tight as you possibly can so that torso doesn't move. Again, if you are not feeling this in your abs at all, something is off and you need to make an adjustment. Guys, thank you so much for sticking around. If you like this type of content, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and then go ahead and click there so you can learn your next kettlebell exercise. I'll see you there.
Yeah.